All right, it's media day. We are talking 8-5A Division II with Huntsville head coach Rodney Southern. And coach, before we even dive into the realignment in the new district, man, I want to talk about last year because you guys got out the gate 1-3, and you might have been a little bit iffy about how things were going to go. And man, did your defense clamp down in the playoffs, and you got your clap back against Randall and got that win, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the regional final with the team that went on to win the state championship. Talk about how that season progressed and how you may have saw your team getting better as the year went along.
Well, first of all, we thought we were going to have a pretty good football team. You know, our kids that were juniors this past season, they've had a lot of success. They're very similar to our juniors and seniors from 18 and 19. I thought we would be good. The scary part is we didn't really know when. We had some things happen, obviously, early in the year, but I thought we were playing well enough. We weren't very consistent in a couple positions. You know, the biggest thing to me is always get in and then worry about what happens after that. And I thought when we went to Texas City, we had a great trip down there. We had a great team meal, all the things that as a coach you look at leading up to that. And we were at one point up 10-0. And if we don't fumble on the 4 or 5 yard line, we probably win that game 17-0. And our defense obviously played really well that night. And, I'd love to say it was coaching, but we moved up a couple JV kids and a freshman running back. And those kids performed extremely well in the playoffs. And we got more consistent. Quarterback was an issue for us this year. We played 2 or 3 different guys trying to get the right combination because none of them had true varsity experience. And I think once that kind of got a little more consistent, and we played really, really well defensively down the stretch. I mean, I thought we played well against P&G, except for every 3rd and 6 or better because they converted every one of them. So. But they're a good football team, obviously, and of course Jeff and them did a great job going to the last one and winning that one as well.
Well, you talk about you didn't know when you're going to be good, but you knew you're going to be good. Boy, if you could choose when you're going to be good at the end of the season, it's probably the way you want to choose it, though. Talk about you said a lot of juniors that became seniors last year. What does that mean for 2024? How are we looking? Are we a young squad and where might be some of your strengths on the team this year?
Well, we only lost we lost 3 O-linemen and 1 skill kid offensively, and that's it. We've got all our receivers back. We've got all 3 of the running backs that played in the playoffs back. We've got 3 quarterbacks back. We're going to have to replace a couple key guys in the offensive line. We've got our sophomore who will be a junior tight end back, and he's already getting offers from University of Houston was the first one. He's gotten 2 or 3 other ones since then. Defensively, we lose some interior guys, but probably the biggest question mark, we lost both of our safeties, and we lost a safety early in the year to a torn ACL, and we had to kind of shuffle around. And we had a young man named Isaiah Collins who's already out at Texas Tech. He graduated at semester that had played corner, and we had to move him to safety. So that's probably one of the biggest areas because we're going to have some guys back there that aren't as experienced. But at every level, defensively and offensively, we're going to have 7 to 8 guys at each of the levels that have played varsity football. And obviously they all went through that playoff run. So, obviously expectations are high, and you try to explain that to kids as coaches, but, and especially now that the district changed, everybody's looking and saying to us and Lake Creek and P&G and this group or that group, but it's going to be a really tough football district.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about that district a little bit more because you got to play P&G late in the round. Well, now you got them. Now you got them in your district. You got that offensive juggernaut at Lake Creek with Tyvon Byers still there. That they seem to be always able to put crazy points up. And then you got a team like West Fork, you don't really know much about them. They're brand new, and I mean, talk about playing a team like that where you don't know a lot about them. Is that where you just like, we don't have to game. We're just going to have to run our stuff because we don't really know what to game plan for them, and just say our stuff's better than their stuff.
Well, if you look at our district, you look and say, we've played P&G, and we played them in the past. We played them when Roshan Johnson was the quarterback there. We've played Montgomery and Lake Creek now for several years. But if you look at the other ones, Nederland's got a new head coach. Splendora has a new head coach. Of course, the coach at West Fork's not new to West Fork, but they're obviously new to the district.
Right.
And then Dayton, of course, we played Coach Perito twice when he was at Crosby in the playoffs. So I know what he's going to try to do at Dayton. So, there is some unknowns, and that sometimes everybody thinks, well, Splendora moving up, well, they're young or they're inexperienced, but those are the kind of teams you better be prepared for. But you also have, we know what Lake Creek's going to do with their running back and their quarterback. I mean, you got to. And I thought this past year, and I think that game, even though we lost it, I think that game was probably the turning point of our season. I mean, we played well enough. We made a couple of mistakes in the fourth quarter, but we played well enough to win the game. And we hit that running back. I'm sure he would say we probably hit him as hard as anybody hit him all year. But at the same time, they figured out a way to win it in the fourth quarter too. So I think our district, and I will be disappointed if our district doesn't have 3 top 15, top 20 teams, maybe 4.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you joining with us, Coach Southern. And man, good luck. I know we're 4 months away, but we can always talk about it, right?
We'll be here before you know it.
There you go. Thanks again, Coach. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.